Hi everyone, welcome back to Jessie Lifestyle at Home. In today's video, we are working in my dining room turned playroom, and now we're turning it back into a functional dining space. I'm super happy about that. This is just a little throwback to a video I did, I think in February, where I was patching and painting and fixing all the little things that have been bothering me for so long. I used this wood putty, bonding putty, to fix this window jamb that I think the previous owner's dog had chewed off, or a dog had chewed it off. Not Sammy. He can't get up there to do all that. he's too fat and lazy to like do anything destructive. But I went through and I primed and painted everything. When we first moved into this house, if you're new to my channel, we painted everything agreeable gray. And while I think it's a really good neutral, I'm just ready for a change. After 5 years, we've lived in this house for 5 years, and I'm just ready for a little change. And you can get a lot of bang for your buck by just changing the paint. Although paint is a lot more pricey nowadays. It took probably $300 worth of white paint to turn this from agreeable gray back to this pretty white. And I'm so excited because I found this dining set for $125 off of a marketplace, and this has 6 chairs. It has 2 leaves, and it also comes with a glass top to protect the table. I mean, it's a little worse for wear, as you can see. It definitely needs a good cleaning, and I'm going to be refinishing it in a faux finish that I love to do. But this was such a steal because the chairs are solid wood, the table is solid wood. Like, it's heavy duty, and I'm really excited about this find. Especially because the base of the table has that fluted look, and that's really in style right now. So I feel like super lucky that I'm not paying thousands of dollars. I'm just going in with hot water and Dawn dish soap and giving everything a really good scrub down. I don't think this was in a smoker's home like recently, but it does have that kind of faint smell of it had maybe once been in a smoker's home. So I'm trying to give it a really good deep clean before I paint it. I went through and deep cleaned all of the chairs as well as the base of the table. I'm not going to show you every single bit of me cleaning it, but everything was deep cleaned with this solution. So I am a one-trick pony. I'm using my Americana Decor chalk paint in the color Primitive because this is the perfect like putty gray beige base for a lot of the style that I like to do. So I'm just going to paint a base coat over the table and all of the chairs as well, just to give it a good base. And you don't have to sand with this. It's very thick base, and this is what I've used on pretty much everything because I love it and it's amazing. I used to be able to get it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, although I don't know if they've discontinued it or not. I ended up having to go on Amazon to get a couple more jugs because I was out. I like to keep this on stock because I just love this paint so much. I'm also painting it with the leaves in. That way I can get a good consistency for everything. But more than likely, I'm going to be just using the table without the leaves. The leaves will come out when we have big family gatherings, etc. But I just wanted to have a consistent look. I am so in love with the shape of this table. We had a oval table in here previously, but it just had a single pedestal base, and I love the dual base with the fluting, the semi-round detail on the bottom. And I can't believe we got it for such a steal. I happened to see it when I was browsing Facebook Marketplace, and I saw that it looked like it was in good shape in the pictures, and that it was in, I think it was in Ocean City, I think. So, you know, if you're picking up something from one of the beach houses, you know it's going to be amazing quality, and it cost a lot of money at one point. But they were moving out and they wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff before, so they didn't have to move it. So we lucked out with this. I am so happy and so in love with this table. I forgot how tedious and how crazy I have to kind of get my body into crazy positions to paint a big piece of furniture like this. And this table is heavy, not one that I can move myself. So I had to take my time. This took me forever. This is why it's taken so long to get this video out, is because this took me forever to do. My husband was kind enough to take all of the cushions off so I could paint all of the chairs. And again, this was super tedious because there was a lot of details and nooks and crannies to get into. I'm not going to show you me painting all of the chairs, but I just kind of give an idea of, you know, how long it takes. It probably took an hour per chair, if I'm being real, because I like to back roll to make sure there was like no brush marks. So yeah, I was being really kind of particular on how I wanted the finish to be. Then after everything was painted in the base coat, I used this glaze and this deck brush. I'm using just a cheap chip brush to get the glaze on the table, and then I go over with the big deck brush to get a smooth line. I'm trying to do a pottery barn finish, so it's a 3-step process, or I guess 4-step process. You put the base on, you put the glaze on, you go over it with a big deck brush, and then you kind of sweep over it with a whisk broom, you know, a hard bristle broom, so that you get a brushed look to it. So this was a lot of work, and it took forever. Not gonna lie, it took forever, but I am obsessed and I love the way it turned out. Here is a close-up of how it's looking, and I'm doing this to the entire table and all of the chairs. So when you're working with like a faux look, you just kind of have to trust the process and just keep going back and forth, long strokes from end to end to get the look that you want. So it's kind of touch and go. You kind of have to, like I said, trust the process and just keep going. You can keep rubbing the paint in and it'll eventually look really, really nice. So here's the top of the table. Some of it is still a little bit wet, and here's the bottom. And then I'm going to work on the chairs. Now the chairs doing the faux was a lot of work because you go in different directions. You got to paint with the implied grain. So I wanted to make sure that I did each section by section and make sure I you know, got everything looking good. It took me an hour per chair, and I have 6 chairs. So doing the chairs was a lot more time consuming than doing the table, but this took me forever. So even though this took me forever, let's see, we bought the table and chairs for $125. I spent $30 on the glaze, $8 on per brush basically. So that's about $16, $20 in paintbrushes. And then the actual chalk paint, I had to buy a couple more. So that was probably less than $100 to do the paint. So that's what? Under $400 for a new table and chair set, which would probably be thousands in the store. We also had this ceiling light in here when it was a playroom. We ended up moving this light into my son Malcolm's room, and then we ended up taking his old light from his room, and my daughter wanted it upstairs in her room because we never did a new lighting fixture in her room when we moved in. And so she was like, yeah, I think I want this one instead of the one that like came with the room. So we did a little light switcheroo. So I ended up ordering a new light fixture from Wayfair, and this was the biggest splurge of the room makeover. This was over $300, but I have a really hard time with light fixtures. It takes me forever because number one, they're a lot of money, and I don't want to get the wrong thing. So I kind of went with this one. This one feels a little bit safe, but still out of what I probably normally would have put in here, which is like a normal chandelier. So in the end, when it goes up, I am so happy with it, and I think it's perfect for the space. Also, please excuse my pajamas. Sometimes we have to film after Malcolm has gone to bed, and I've already gotten into my comfy clothes, but this rug was also such a bargain. It was $69 for this huge, I want to say it's a 9x12 rug, and it is a thinner rug. It's one of those washable rugs, although I don't think I'll be washing it in my washing machine just because, but it's so soft. It's so soft, but the only problem is it's very thin. So we're not gonna have a lot of heavy traffic in this room, so I thought it would be okay to have a thinner rug in here, and I definitely got my bang for the buck in here. We also moved my husband's grandmother's china hutch out of the kitchen and moved it into the dining room. Here is the old seat covers. I was gonna get these professionally upholstered, but it's costing a lot of money. So for now, I just bought these new seat covers off of Amazon, and they look brand new. I think these seat covers are also like water resistant, so that'll help with any spills that we could have in the dining room, especially with Malcolm. After weeks and weeks, we finally have a light fixture. We have the table and chairs painted. We finally got our bulbs in, so I went ahead and switched out the kind of cheap light bulbs for the fancy looking light bulbs, the Edison bulbs, so they look a little bit nicer in here. It's going to put out a lot of light, which we definitely need in the dining room because it's so dark in the front of the house. We have the leaves out of the table, and we have the glass top on, which I love that it came with a glass top to protect, number one, the finish, and it's just easier to clean. I had cleaned the underside of the glass top, but I hadn't really seen how dirty the top was. So you guys are going to get to clean it with me. It was absolutely full of fingerprints. I am adding in these curtains that I had in my dining room previously. And I think I also used them in my living room as well for a little while. I love these curtains. I'm kind of going for a modern French country look, which I know French country is more neutrals, which is why I added like the modern twist to it. But it has a French country feel, I believe. But I just love color and fun patterns. So I am definitely excited to put these floral curtains back up in here. Funny story is I had given them away to a friend, and then she was using them for a while, and then they ended up back with me. So I'm really happy about that I didn't have to spend money on curtains, because curtains are expensive. And I really like these, and nothing could really top these for me. So I'm really excited to have them back hanging up in the dining room. They look so amazing. And of course, I have my little helper here climbing up, wanting to do everything that I'm doing and wanting to help. I have two curtains, two panels per side, because I think it elevates the look when you have a fuller curtain. Previously, when I had the blue curtain up, I only had one panel per side, and it kind of just looked a little, just underwhelming. I also really don't like the look of hanging the curtains to the ceiling. I'm just not fond of that look. I don't think it looks good in all presentations. It does look good in some, but for me, I like to hang just above the window molding, or midway between the ceiling and the window molding is usually how I go. It is time to clean this hutch up. It's been in the kitchen, so I wanted to give it a good wipe down. My husband and I also intend to put some wall moldings on the walls in here. I'd want to do some box moldings. I think that would really elevate the space, but we just don't have time. Between my sister's wedding, which is coming up soon, and just senior year stuff, we just haven't had time, and I really just wanted to be able to say this room is done for now. So I will be updating this space more in the future by adding the moldings and a couple wall treatments. So although it may not look as finished as it could be, I'm really, really happy with how the space is turning out. Since I have glass shelves on this hutch, I like to put down a runner, and I'm just using like a cheap burlap runner in here on both of the glass shelves. That way there's a little bit of traction when I'm putting things in here, because I have had things break because they've slid off the glass, and I'm just trying to add a little bit of friction. I have heard that you can use museum putty, which I am going to look into as well, but I just like having the burlap runners there for now. This is my great-grandmother's place settings. I don't want to say china, but china. I don't know what the proper word for is that, but I love the blue flower. I think it's so pretty, and I think it really fits the space. And I'm just playing around here with different things. I'm just trying to work with what I have, and sometimes it doesn't work out. I had these hand and hearth bud vases that were upstairs in the office, and I put some lavender in them, but I think just for texture and a different kind of feel in there, I'm just going to put the empty bud vases in there as more of a sculptural thing. And yeah, this is just kind of how it turned out. It's nothing crazy, nothing like super over the top, but just clean and simple and something to fill the shelves. My mom had given each of us kids this little platter, and it says sweet potato pie. It's my great-grandmother's recipe for sweet potato pie. She was kind of sad because she wanted to put it on, she thought she was getting it on a glass plate, and it ended up being on a melamine plate. But I think that's actually a better way to do it because then it won't break. But that's in her handwriting and everything. I think it's super sweet. And I'm just reusing what I have here. I have these coastal charger plates here. And then I'm going through and trying to find some candles and some candlesticks that were left over from my sister's bridal shower. That is the little centerpiece, floral centerpiece with some faux hydrangeas as well. And I wanted to go ahead and vacuum everything in here, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I have a bunch of napkins. The only thing is my napkins are in all sets of 4 because that's what I had previously, so I'm gonna have to buy some more napkin sets, or like as I'm doing here, I'm gonna mix and match. I have 4 white and blue plaid napkins, and then I have some light blue plain napkins, so I'm just going to put the plain blue in at the head of the table, and then the plaid on all of the side table place settings. But I think it ended up looking really cute, and I'm really happy with how this looks. Even though it's not done, I still want to add, like I said, some art and some moldings in here to kind of elevate the space. I am so happy with how this turned out. I think it's so beautiful. I can't wait to have family dinners in here. We can all sit in here together, have game nights. Here's a close-up of the rug. I love this rug. As you can see, there's a couple more wrinkles I need to stretch out in the rug. I love how the table and the chairs turned out. The wood look looks so like good to me. I just love it. I think it looks so amazing. We're gonna have many beautiful family dinners in here. I love the chandelier. I love how it like fills the space without being over the top, in my opinion. I still do have plans to repaint the china hutch, as well as, like I said, we want to do some box moldings in here. But overall, I am so in love with the space. It looks so pretty, and I can't stop staring. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the like button, and share with all your friends because that really helps out my channel. And I'll see you guys next time.